Hello everybody and welcome back to my studio. Welcome to Inktober 2019. This is all of the line art that I have created for week 1 of Inktober. And this year, as you can tell, I decided to work digitally. And that's technically, I don't think it's cheating necessarily, but it's technically not Inktober because I'm not using ink, I'm just using digital ink. But I think it counts. I mean, it counts for me, and I'm challenging myself to improve on something that I'm not super great at. I haven't had a lot of experience in, so hopefully by the end of the 30 days I'll be a lot more confident and be a lot better at digital inking. Also for this year, or at least for this first week and kind of just for the foreseeable future, for the challenge of Inktober, I've decided to, instead of creating my own original art, I've decided to create fan art, and specifically, at least for this week, of the show Ladybug and Cat Noir, because I really like that show, and it's just one of my favorite things right now. And the reason for that is not only is it just something, my kind of current obsession, but when you have to create an original character every single day, or create something that's original every single day of October or any month, it's kind of a challenge in and of itself, and that's fine if you want to do that, but for me, I really just wanted to focus on my inking, and I really wanted to push that. And if I was focusing on kind of trying to create something new every day and be really elaborate and be really creative every day with what I actually created rather than just the posing and the line art itself, then it would take away from my ability to create better line art. Or not necessarily take away from it, but it would take a lot more time, which would discourage me from creating or working on the line art as hard. So I decided to just go with characters that already exist, and in this particular case, it's in the Miraculous fandom, so yeah. So I've already done an Adrianette piece. That was the first piece that I did with Adrian and Marinette holding hands. Then I did an image of Marinette just in some random pose looking cute. And here I'm drawing another Adrianette piece. If you don't know, Adrianette is the ship name for Adrian and Marinette, just so as you know. And this one is where Marinette's head is resting on top of Adrian's, and her hands are on his shoulders. So for this particular piece, I did something that I've never done before with digital art, and that's I created a thicker outline for the piece. And to do that, because this one was a little different, I wanted to create some depth in the piece, so I just copied and pasted the line art to a new layer and thickened it, and then erased where I didn't want thicker lines. And I have kind of perfected this method a little bit as the days went forward, because you'll see that I keep the line art a little bit thicker on the outside of the image for the rest of the pictures that I drew for this week, and I really like the effect that gives. It just makes it look a lot more polished and more professional. Also, if you are thinking about going into digital art, I just want to kind of talk about the medium and what I use to create my stuff. So I'm right now working in Adobe Photoshop for all of these pieces. I work at 300 dpi at 11 by 17 is what I'm drawing on. So that's printable quality. I like to work in printable quality because you can always go down in quality, but you can't go up in quality very easily. At least it just won't look good. So in case I ever did want to finish any of these into properly colored and lined pieces that were something that I wanted to sell at any point or print at any point, then I could do that. So that's what I have going for me there. And as for the actual line art itself, to create the line art, I used a Wacom Intuos tablet that I've had for a couple years now, and it works great. It's just the smallest one. I think it's like 4 by 6 inches, so it's really not big at all, but it works fine for me. But because of the small area that I have to draw on, and because the screen of my computer is kind of small, it's only 13 inches, it's kind of more compact, I have to zoom in a lot when I'm drawing, which you might not be the case for other artists. So in case you're wondering about why I'm zooming in so much and zooming out, and that's the reason why. So, and then about creating the line art, in Photoshop there is an option for you to create a smooth line. You can have a smoothing effect on your line art as you draw, and I have been working with that throughout this week and kind of seeing what I like and what I don't like. I don't think there's anything wrong with working with a smoothing feature in Photoshop or in another program if you draw digitally, because digital art can be very, very finicky, and it's very, very sensitive to any little shakes that you have in your hand. So having a smoothing effect can really help with that, and I don't think it's cheating at all personally. But I have found that 15% smoothing is like the perfect sweet spot for it, because it smooths the line, but it still allows you to kind of create without a real hindrance, anything that's like pulling on your line too much. So you still get the effect of, you know, you feel connected to your line work that you're creating, and like you're actually drawing it rather than you're pulling a weight around with you as you draw. So I personally like 15% to 20%, 30% if it's really something like a really long sweeping line that I need to draw. But other than that, 15% is what I stay at. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and kind of learned some information about digital art and stuff and what I'm learning. I'd like to share with you more of what I learned throughout this week and the coming weeks and throughout this month in the challenge of Inktober. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that digital inking is cheating or not? I'm curious to know what your opinions are. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. And as always, keep on creating.